What happened was we were out rabbit hunting, and we'd made a long loop around the area, and now we were coming back to where the pickup was. And so we get back to the pickup, and I can see a pickup going down the one-lane dirt road that goes through the sagebrush. And I can see that there's people in the back, and at least a couple of them have long guns. Okay, well, they go behind a little bit of a hill, and I know where the road comes out, and so in about 1 minute they'll come out and I can see the vehicle. Well, a minute goes by and they didn't come out. So I'm sitting there in the lawn chair, and a couple of bullets fly past. When you're in the Marine Corps and you shoot for qualifications, being down in the butts and having bullets flying over your head is part of the process. So I'm familiar with the sound. And as the bullets flew over, I had a Tweety Bird moment, where I thought, that sounded like that was a bullet going over my head. And I grabbed my rifle and ran around behind the only cover I had, the pickup. Well, as I'm running behind the pickup, as soon as I get behind it, I see coming from the front of the pickup is Bob. And as he comes running right toward me, it's interesting the things you notice in a situation like this. First thing I noticed is he didn't have his gun with him. Well, he'd been out doing something and left his gun unattended. He figured getting behind cover was more important than going and grabbing it. Okay, well, a couple of more bullets go by us, and a few seconds go by, and I become aware that Joe is still standing out there, and I can hear him dinking around with some of his gear. He's oblivious to what's going on. And so I say to him, "Hey Joe, you better get down, we're taking fire." Now those are my exact words and exactly how I said it. I can't repeat his reply to me, but basically it was, he told me he didn't believe me. It's interesting the things you remember. I didn't say anything to him, but I remember so clearly just shrugging and thinking, okay. Well, I'm down here behind the pickup. I'm looking, can't see anything. I'm looking around the back of the tailgate. About 2, 3, 4 shots after I talked to Joe, he comes running around the front of the pickup, and it looked like this. Okay, maybe that's not exactly what it looked like, but he came around the front of the pickup with his eyes as wide as saucers, and the first thing I noticed was he didn't bring his rifle with him. So here's the three of us behind the only cover we have, the pickup, while there's about a half dozen people out there. Most, if not all of them, are armed. At least one of them is shooting at us, and the only one of us that has a firearm is me. And I've got a Ruger 1022 similar to this one. I've got a 25-shot magazine in it, and I had my Steyr GB 9mm with an 18-shot magazine in it, and one extra mag in my pouch. I felt a little undergunned. Well, while we're there behind the pickup, 4, 5, 6 more rounds go over, and then the shooting stops. Then, between 1 and 2 minutes later, we see them drive away the same direction they'd driven in, as if everything was fine.